Hello and welcome to another exciting tutorial of GreatStack. In today's video, we are diving deep into React Router. We will cover everything you need to build a fully functional multi-page React application with a few clicks. If you are absolute beginner to React, I would highly recommend you to checking out my React Beginners tutorial first. It's completely free on this channel and I will provide the link down in the description. First, we will learn how to create routing in React application so that you can easily navigate between different pages. Then we will explore the link and NavLink tags plus the useNavigate hook to navigate users on mouse click event. Then we will learn about nested routes. We will show how you can create nested routes in React application so you can build more complex UI layouts. Then we will set up custom 404 page to handle any routes that does not exist. I will show you how to add a loader in React Router so that you can load the component data before rendering the component. Then we will learn about route parameters and dynamic routing so that we can display dynamic data on the same component using the route parameters. And lastly, we will discuss how to use the error element to handle any errors that might pop up during the navigation. By the end of this video, you will have the strong knowledge of React Router and you will be ready to start building complex multi-page React application. So let's get started. Now let's create a basic React project. So right now I am on my desktop screen and here we will create a folder. So let me create a folder with the name React Router. So now we will open this folder with VS Code editor. So I'll select open with code. Now our folder React Router is open in this VS Code. Now we will open the terminal. So let me click here, select new terminal. So in this terminal you can see we are at React Router folder, right? Now in this one we have to add the command to create a React project. For that we will use the Vite package. So let's add the command npm create Vite at latest. After that press enter. Now it is asking for the project name. So let me type dot. So it will create the project with the same name, that is React Router. After that we will select the React, then select JavaScript. Next we have to install the dependencies. So let's add npm install. So after completing this npm install, we can run our project. So let's write npm run dev. So it will start our project. Now our project is running on this localhost port 5173. So let's open this URL in web browser. Now you can see our basic React plus Vite project is running in the web browser. Next, let's clear this project. So in the left sidebar you can see we have the src folder. In this one we have the app.css. Let's delete it. Then we have app.jsx file. Open it and let me just clear this file, and here we will use the snippet RAFCE. So it will create a functional component. After that we have this index.css file. So let's clear this file also, and here we will add some basic CSS properties. After that, if I come back to the web page, you can see our web page is clear, right? Now, before learning the React Router, let's understand what is page routing. So to understand the page routing, let me just come back. And here we have the public folder. In this public folder, we will create a new file and write the file name. Let's say about.html. So we have created this about.html file. Now let's come back to the app.jsx file, and here we will add one anchor link, and in this one we will add /about.html, and here we will add link text about page. Save the changes. If I come back to the web browser, and here you can see we have about page link at the top left corner, and when I click here, you can see we are redirected to this path, that is localhost, then port number /about.html. But when we come to this path, our page gets reloaded. So when we are redirected to this path, this is the page routing. It means the path of our URL is changing. This is the page routing. Now we will learn what is React Router. React Router is a JavaScript framework that allows us to handle client and server-side routing in the React application. It enables the creation of single page web or mobile application that allow navigation without refreshing the web page. It means when we are using the React Router and when we navigate the web page from one page to another, then the web page will not reload. The React Router is a powerful tool that can be used to create complex and dynamic web applications. It is a great choice for any React project that requires navigation between different views. For example, let me open a website called react.dev. So if I open this react.dev website, here you can see we have some menu items. When I click on this learn, now we are redirected to this learn path. You can see the path in this URL, right? But when we redirected to this one, our website is not reloading. Let me click on the another menu. If I click on this reference, you can see we will be redirected to the reference page. Now we are at the reference page and you can see the path has been updated in this URL and it is not reloading the web page. Now we will implement this React Router in our project. So let me just close it and come back to the VS Code. We will come back to the home page. Now just come back and here we have added this anchor link. Let me just remove it. And here we have created this about.html. So let me just delete this. Now our project is clear. Next we have to install the React Router DOM package to support the React Router. So to install a new package, let's open this terminal and we have to stop this project. Right now this project is running. So to stop this project, we will add Ctrl+C and Y. Press enter. Now we will install the React Router DOM package using npm install React Router DOM. So you can see I have added the command npm install React Router DOM. Press enter. So it will install the React Router DOM package in our project. That's it. Now we can again start our project. So let's use the command npm run dev. So again our project is running on this localhost 5173 port. So next we have to set up the React Router in our project. So now we don't need this terminal, so we will hide it. And after that, to set up the React Router, we will create some pages so that we can navigate between different pages. So here we have the src folder, right? So in this src folder, let's create a new folder. And let me write the folder name pages. Now in this pages folder, we will create multiple pages like home page, about, contact and products. So right click here on this pages folder, select a new file and write the file name home.jsx. Here we are using capital H to create this page. Now after creating it, here we will use the snippet RAFCE So it will create a functional component. Now we'll create another page, but before that, in this div, let me add one message. So let me add the message in h1, and this is home page. Save the changes. Now in this pages folder, we will create another page, that is products.jsx. Then use RAFCE snippet, and here we will add the message in h1. This is products page. Now we'll create another page in this folder. It is about page, so let's add the file name about.jsx. Here also we will add the message in h1, about page. Now let's create a new page, that is contact. So the file name is contact.jsx. And here we will add the title in h1, contact page. So we have created multiple pages. But right now, if I come back to the web page, you will see still it is blank, because we have not mounted these components on app page, that is this app.jsx. So we have to mount it. But before that, we will create one component also. So to create the component, here in this src folder, let's create a new folder with the name components. And in this one, we will create the navigation bar. So let's create a new file in this components folder, and the file name is navbar.jsx. Here we will use RAFCE snippet. And in this navbar, we will add the logo, menu items, and buttons. So let's add one image. We are using this image tag. And after that, we will add the UL. And in this UL, we will add the list items. So the first one will be home. Let me duplicate it. The second one will be products. Then the third one will be about. And the next one is contact. There will be 4 menu items in the navigation bar, and after closing of this UL, we will add one button also. So let's add the button tag, and here we will add the button text get started. So we have created this navigation bar component, that is navbar. Next, we have to mount these components on the app page, which is here. So within this div in this app.jsx file, if I write nav, so you can see we are getting the suggestion navbar from components folder and navbar file. Let's click here. So you can see this navbar has been imported from this components folder and navbar file. Let's close this tag. That's it. And after that, if I come back to the web page, you can see here we are getting this menu items and this button get started. Now in this navigation bar, we need to add one logo also. You can see in this navbar we have added the image tag. So let me insert one image in our project. So I already have one image. So I have one logo image on my desktop. So let me move it in this project folder. Then go to src, then assets folder, and we will paste the logo file, logo.png. And let's come back. So in this assets, you can see we have logo.png. So we can use it in this image src. So before that, we have to import it. So just add import, write the name logo from, provide the path, /assets/ logo.png, write the exact file name with extension. So now we have imported this logo and we can use it in img tag. So write curly braces and provide this logo. That's it. If I come back to the web page now, you can see we have this logo, then menu items and this button. So right now we are getting this navigation bar info on this home page. Let's come back, and here in this app.jsx file you can see we have added the navbar. But after this navbar, if I add home, select this from this suggestion. So home has been imported, and close this tag. Now you can see here we are getting home page title. That is correct for this home page, right? But here if I add one more page like products, select this products has been imported. So let's close it. Now if I come back to the web page, here we are getting products page, which is not required on our home page. You can see the path. We are at the home page. We have not added any path in this URL. And here we are getting the title products page, right? So what we have to do, we have to display this products page on different path, that will be /products. For that we have to set up the React router. So we have already installed the React router DOM package. So to configure the React router, let's come back to the main.jsx file. Here we have main.jsx. In this one, here we will import browser router from React router DOM. So we have imported this browser router. Now let's remove this strict mode, and instead of that we will use this browser router. So let's add the browser router tag here. Now the closing tag, and wrap this app component with this browser router. So now we have wrapped this app component within this browser router. So now we'll get the support of browser router in our project. After that, let's come back to the app.jsx file, and in this one we have to import two things. So first we have to import the routes, and the second one is route. So here let's add import. We will add curly braces, and here we will add routes. Let's select it from the suggestion routes from React router DOM package, and we will import one more thing, which is route. So we have imported routes and route. Now using this we will configure the routing. So you can see here we have the navbar. This navbar is required on all the pages, but I need this home page on home path, then this product component on the product path, then about component on about path, and contact component on contact path. So let me delete it from here, and after this navbar, here let's add routes tag that we have imported here. So let's add routes and close this tag. So now we have opening and closing routes tag, and within this we will add route. Select this route. So this route will be self-closing. We will add the closing tag like this. So this is the self-closing tag. Now in this one we have to provide two items. First one will be path, and the second one will be element. So let me show you that. Here we will add path and provide the path. So let's add /. It means we are opening the home page. Now whenever we will open the home page, which component should be displayed? So we have to display the home page component that we have created here, correct? So here we have to add the element, and in this element let's add the curly braces, and in this one let's provide our home page component like this. Now let me create a copy, and here we will add different path. So the next path will be products, and here we will add the product page. So this is the products page. Now let's duplicate it. Here we will add about. This is the path about, and here we will add the about page component. So let's add about. Click here. So it will import the about from pages folder, about file. Now let's duplicate it. Here we will add the path /contact. And here we will add the contact page that we have created. So just click here. So this contact has been imported. So now you can see in this app component, here we have added the navbar. This navbar is outside of this routes. That's why it will be displayed on all the pages. And in this routes, we have added 4 different routes. So whenever the path will be /, it will display home page. Whenever the path will be /products, it will display the products page. Whenever the path will be about, then it will display the about page. And whenever the path will be /contact, it will display the contact page. If I save the changes, come back to the web page. Here you can see we are getting the home page. If I change the path, so in this URL, you can see if I type contact, press enter. Now we are getting the message contact page. After that, let me change the path. We will add about. You can see the URL, we are at /about. Press enter. So here we are getting the title about page. If I change it, we will add products. Now you can see the title products page. Now just come back to the home. Right now we are changing the page by typing the path name in the URL. Next we will add the click event on these menu items so that when we click on this products, it will open the products page. When we will click on the about, it will open the about page. But before that, let me add some CSS properties so that this page will look beautiful. So just come back, and here you can see we have this index.css file. So let's open this index.css file, and here let's add some CSS properties. So in this one, we have to add the CSS properties for the navigation bar. So let's open this navbar.jsx file, and here we have this div. So in this div, let's add a class name navbar. Save the changes and come back to the index.css file, and here let's add .navbar. And for this navigation bar, we will add the CSS properties. So here we will provide width 100%, then we will provide the flex, justify content, and align items so that all contents in this navigation bar will be aligned side by side. Then we have provided some padding from top and bottom and 8% from left and right side. So after adding this, you can see the changes. The logo, menu items, and buttons are aligned side by side. Now let me come back, and here we will use this navbar. And in this navbar, we have the UL tag where we have added all the list items. So for this UL, we will add some padding, then we will add the border radius, and we will add box shadow. So we have provided padding, border radius, and box shadow. After that, let me just copy it. And in this UL, we have the LI tag. So in this list items, we will add display. It will be inline block so that all the menu items will be aligned horizontally. Then we will add some padding and margin. So let's add the padding and margin. Then we will add the color. So we will add the black color. After that, you can see this menu items are looking good. Next, we will add the CSS properties for this button. So let me just come back, and here we will add .navbar and button tag. So for this button, we will change the background and we will change the color. So we will add the black background and color white. After that, we will add some padding and we will remove the border and outline. So we have added the padding, border 0, outline 0. After that, we will add the border radius so that the corners will be round, and then we will add the font size. So we will increase the font size to 16 pixel. Then we will add the cursor pointer. Now you can see this button looks good. Right now this logo is looking big. So let me provide the size for this logo. So if I open navbar.jsx file, here we have this image tag. So in this one, we will add the width 130 pixel. It will be in double quote. Save the changes. So now it is looking good. Next, we have to move this text, which is home page, in the center of the web page. So we have added this title in all the pages like home page, contact page, about page, and product page. So let me just come back and open app.jsx file. You can see here we have all the pages, and in all pages we have added the title. So we will add the CSS properties that will align all text in the center. So before this routes, here let's add one div, and in this div let's add the class name container, and close this div after this routes like this. So you can see here we have this div with the class name container, and within this container class name we have this routes where we are mounting different pages: home, products, about, and contact. Save the changes. Now for this container, let's add the CSS properties. So open index.css file, and in this one let's add dot container. For this one, let's add display, flex, align item center, justify content center, and here we'll add the width of 100%, and we'll add the height. So the height will be 80 VH. So all the titles will be aligned in the center of the web page. In this one, we have added the title in h1 tag. So we will increase the font size so that you can see clearly. So we will add the font size of 70 pixel, and then we will add the font weight of 500. Now if I come back to the web page, you can see now it is looking beautiful. We are at the home page, and in this URL, if I type /about, press enter, so you can see we are at the about page. One thing you can notice here, whenever we are changing the path, it is not reloading the web page. If I type contact, press enter, it will directly open this contact page. It will not take any time. So next we will enable the click option, so that when we click on the products, it will open the product page. Then we will click on about, it will open the about page. For that, let's come back and we will open this navbar. Here in this navbar, we have to import link tag. So just add import curly braces link, and we will import it from React Router DOM. So we have imported link from React Router DOM. Now we will wrap the menu items with this link tag. So you can see here we have the home, products, about, contact, right? So here we will add link, close this tag. Now move it at the end. So we have wrapped this list item with this link tag, and in this link tag we can add the to property, and in this to we can provide the path. So let's add slash because we are adding it on the home. Now let's add the same thing here. We will close this link, and let's add it in other items also. Close it here and here. Now in the second one, we will add the path products. In the third one, we will add about, and here we will add contact. One thing you have to notice that whenever I am adding the path here, that is products, it is same as the path that is defined in this route. In this route, we have defined the path products, about, contact. So we are using the same thing here, products, about, and contact. So whenever we will click on this products menu, it will open this path. and here it will mount this products page. That's it. So after adding this, if I come back to the web page and if I click on this home, you can see we are at home page. Now let's click on products. So now we are at products page. Let's click on about. So we are at about page. And if I click on contact, we are at contact page. So this is how you can implement the React router in your project. Now we will learn a newer way to set up React router using the router provider. So we will learn a new way to set up the React router. For that we will use the router provider. So first we will create a file called root layout. And before that we'll create a folder called layout. So in this sidebar, go to this src, and in this src folder, let's create a folder called layout. So we have created one layout folder, and in this folder we'll create a new file. So let's add the file name root layout.jsx. So we have created this root layout.jsx file, and in this one we will add RAFCE. This will be root layout. After creating this root layout, let's come back to the app component, which is app.jsx file. In this one, we will create the browser router. So in this app.jsx file, before this return statement, here let's add a space, and here we will add one router. So just add const router is equal to, we will use create browser router. You can see we are getting this suggestion. So just click here, create browser router. So this create browser router has been imported from React router DOM. Now in this one we will use create routes from elements. So just add create routes from elements. Just click on this suggestion. So it has been imported. Create routes from element. It has been imported in this line. Now in this one, we will add route. Just create this route tag, and we will close this route tag like this. And in this one, we will add the path. And in this path, let's add slash. So in this route, we have to provide our root layout. So here just add the element property, and in this element, we will add the curly braces. And here we will mount our root layout that we have just created. So just add opening arrow, root layout, select it from here. So root layout has been imported. Close this tag. Now, whenever we will hit this path, that is slash, then it will display the root layout. And within this root layout, we will add the other path, that is other route. So let's add the route tag. And these route will be self-closing like this. And in this one, we will add the other elements. So instead of writing it, let me just copy it from here. You can see here we have added this different routes, right? So just remove it and paste it here. Now in the first one we have added the path slash. So instead of it we will add index. So here we have added index, and when it is index we are mounting the home page. When the path is products, so here we have to remove this forward slash, because we have already provided the forward slash here, and it will take the relative path. So it will be like slash products by using this forward slash. So whenever we will open slash products, first it will display the root layout, and with that root layout it will also display this products element or products component. But before that we have to add the outlet in the root. So from here let me delete this, And here we have this container. So let me remove this container from here. And we will remove this navbar also. So we have removed this navbar from this return because we will display this navbar in the root. So whenever we will open the web page, in any page, the root layout will be loaded, and in the root layout, we will mount the navigation bar. So it will be displayed in all pages. So here, let's add navbar. So this navbar will be displayed in all pages because we have added it in the root layout. And after that, we have to add the outlet. So just add outlets. Select it from here, outlet from React Router DOM. So the outlet has been imported. Close this tag. Now what will happen? Whenever we will open this /about, then it will open the root layout. Then it will display the navigation bar because we have added the navigation bar in the root. And after that, it will provide this about component in this outlet, and it will be displayed on /about path. Let's see this in the action. But before that, we have to use this router here in this return. So in this return, we can remove this div. We can simply write router provider. Select the router provider from React Router DOM. So router provider has been imported, and in this router provider, we have to provide router, and here we will provide the router that we have already created. You can see here we have created the router using this create browser router. So just copy this router and paste it here. So now it will return this router using this router provider tag. That's it. Save the changes. Now let's come back to the web page again. Right now you can see this web page is blank. So it is coming because we have not removed the browser router that we have used in the old method. So just come back and let's open this main.jsx file. So in this main.jsx file, you can see we have used this browser router. So let me just remove it. Remove this import. Save the changes. And if I come back to this app.jsx, here also we have imported this routes. So we can remove it. It is not required. And now let's save the changes. Now you can see it is working. We are getting the navigation bar, and here we have this message, contact page, because we are at the path/contact. Now let me just come back and we'll add that container here. So in this root, before this outlet, we'll add div with the class name container, and within this container we will provide this outlet. That's it. Now if I come back, you can see this message in the center. Now if I go to home page, we are getting the title home page. Now if I go to products, we are getting title products page. If I go to about, we are getting the title about page, and if I go to contact, we are getting the title contact page. So this was the another method of adding the React router in your project. This new way will work on the latest version of the React router, that is higher than 6.4. So after learning how to implement the React router in your project, we will learn what is difference between Link and NavLink. Now we will learn how to use the NavLink tag, and then we will understand what is difference between Link and NavLink. So let me go to the navbar.jsx file. So in this file, you can see we are using link tag, and in this one we have the to property, correct? So now we will replace this link tag with the NavLink tag. But before that, we have to import the NavLink as we have imported link. So here, let me add import NavLink from React Router DOM, and let me remove this link. So now we are using NavLink, and we will use this NavLink tag here. So replace this link tag with NavLink. you can see we have provided NavLink and here closing NavLink tag. That's it. So after replacing the link tag with NavLink, let me just come back to the web page. So you can see there is no difference here. If I click on products, it is going to the product page. If I click on about, it is going to about page. But let me inspect this web page. Right click, select inspect. Then here you can see the HTML structure. In this one, we have this navigation bar. Let me expand it. So in this navigation bar, you can see we have the UL tag where we have added the list items. So let me expand this UL. Now in this UL tag, you can see we have a tag. So this a tag is coming from our NavLink tag. Whether we use the link tag or NavLink tag, it will convert it as a tag. That is anchor link. So here we have the a tag for the home. Then we have this a tag for the products. Then this one is for the about and this one for the contact. So total we have 4 a tags. But among all 4, you can see in the third one we have one class called active. Right. And if I click on another page, let me open contact page. Now we are at the contact page. So in this HTML structure, in this dev tool, you can see this active class is moved in the last a tag, which is the contact. Let me expand this a, so you can see this is for the contact, right? So this active class is moving to different a tag when we open different route. Let me open home. If I click on home link, so now we are at the home path. You can see the home page text. And here in this list, you can see this active class is added in the first anchor link, where you can see the text is home. So this NavLink tag is tracking the path. If we are on products path, right, or products route, then it will add the class name in this NavLink. If I go to about, then it will add the active class name in this about NavLink. Like this one, you can see the a tag with class name active. So now we can use this active class name to add some extra CSS properties. So let me show you that. Let's close it and come back to the VS Code. And here we have added one CSS file. So where it is? Here. In this index.css file, here we have added color in list items. So let me remove this color from here and come back. You can see it is like this. And if I come back, and here we will add a tag, and in this a tag we have the active class name. So for this anchor link with the active class name, we will add some extra CSS properties. So let me add color. I will write red, save the changes. So we have provided the red color for the anchor link with active class name. Now if I come back to the web page, you can see the about text is displayed in the red color. Now if I go to contact page, you can see the contact link becomes red. If I go to home page, the home link becomes red, right? So using this active class, we will get to know which route is active. Right now we are on the home page. Now if I go to products, we are on the products page, and you can see the active class name, and because of that active class name, here we are getting the red color in this nav menu. So try to use the NavLink tag instead of link tag in components like navbar. Now we will see what is useNavigate hook and how to use it. So when we click on NavLink or link tag, it is a straightforward way to navigate between routes. But sometimes you want to navigate programmatically, like redirecting after form submission, navigating based on user action, implementing a back button, or passing a states between routes. So in these conditions, we can use the useNavigate hook. So let's come to the navbar.jsx file, And in this navbar.jsx file, you can see we have added one button. So on this button, we will add a click feature, and when we will click here, it will redirect us to a different path or a different route. So for that, we have to import the useNavigate hook. So here we will use the useNavigate. So in this one, we can write useNavigate. We will import this useNavigate from React Router DOM. Now, using this useNavigate hook, we will get the navigate function. So before this return statement, let me add const navigate equal to useNavigate hook. Now we will use this navigate function on this button. So here in this button, we will add onClick. And in this one, we will pass one arrow function. And in this arrow function, we will call the navigate function. And in this navigate function, we will pass one argument that will be our routing path. So let's add single quote or double quote /about. So what will happen when we will click on this button, it will navigate us to the about page. So let's save the changes and come back. Here we have this button, and let me click on this button. You can see we are at the about page, and you can see the path, it is /about. Now let me come back, and if I add contact, so in this one we will add contact. So when we will click on this button, it should redirect us to the contact page. So just come back, click on this button. Now you can see we are at contact page. So this is how you can use the useNavigate hook. Here we have one more thing in this useNavigate. Whenever we change the route, so let me go to the home page. So right now we are at the home page, and now let's go to the products page. So our navigation history will be stored in the history stack, so that when we'll click on the back button, we will come back to the home. So now let's go to the about. So now we are at the about page. So what we did right now, first we went to home page, then products, then about. Correct? Now if I click on this back button, what will happen? We will come back to the products page. Correct? Now let's click on the back button again. So now we are back to the home page. It is because our navigation history is saved in the history stack. Correct? Now here we have one more feature in the useNavigate. We can use this to navigate to a new location, replace the current location, or navigate to forward or backward in the history stack. So let's understand it with one example. Let's come back. And here we have this navigate function, right? So in this one, we will add one more argument. So after this path, here we have provided the routing path. Let's add the comma, and here let's add one object, and in this one we will add replace true. So in this navigate, you can see we have added the routing path /contact and replace true. So now what will happen? It will not save the current path in the history stack. Instead, it will replace the current path. Let me show you this in the web page. So right now, if I go to about, and after about, if I go to contact, and we will use this button. So here we are using about, and after that, here we are at the about page, and click on this button, so it will open the contact. Now we are at the contact page using this navigate function, right? Now if I come back using this back button, let's see. We are back to the home page. Actually, we should come back to the about according to the navigation history. But what happened here, when we use this navigate function, then it replaces the history. So earlier we were at the about page. So when we clicked here, so it replaces this about page from the contact page in the history stack. That's why when we clicked on the back button, it came back to the home. So this was all about the Link, NavLink and useNavigate. Now we will learn about nested routes. Nested routes are a powerful feature. While most people think React Router only routes a user from page to page, but it also allows us to change a specific components in the current route. Let us understand it with one example. So first, let's create a contact layout in this file. So here we have the layout folder. So in this folder, we will create a new file with the name contact layout.jsx. Let's add RAFCE, and in this one we will mount our contact component. So let's add contact. So we have mounted the contact page here, and in this one we will mount the outlet. So let's import outlet from React Router DOM, and we will mount this outlet after this contact component like this. Now let me come back to the app.jsx file, and in this one you can see we have added contact, right? So instead of this contact component, here we will use contact layout that we have just created like this, and we will not close this route. Here we will use closing route tag like this. So here we have added this route opening tag and closing tag, and in this one we have mounted this contact layout, and within this contact layout we will mount the nested routes. So here we will create two other routes that will be info and form. So let me come back to the home page, and if I go to contact, here you can see we are getting this contact page, right? Now what will happen, here we have this /contact. So after that we'll add /info. So it will display the contact information, and after that we'll add /contact/form. So it will display a contact form. So based on the nested route, we will display different components. So let's come back, and first we have to create two other components. So here in this folder, we have a folder called components. So in this one, let's create a new component with the name info, or we can write it as contact info .jsx. Here we will use RAFCE, and in this contact info, let's add some contact information like email, phone number and address. So I'll add one div. In this one, let's add email. Then we will add phone. Then we will add address. So we have created this contact info component, and in this components folder, let's create one more file with contact form.jsx, and here we will create a form. So let's add RAFCE. Here we will add the form tag. In this form, we will add some input fields. So let's add the input type will be text, and here we will add the placeholder name. Then we will add the another input field for the email ID. Then add the placeholder email. Then we will add the BR tag, and here we will add the text area. And in this one, we will add the placeholder called message. Then we will add one button tag. So we have created the contact info component and contact form component. After that, let me come back here. In this app.jsx, here we have added this route. So in this one, we'll add the nested route. So let's add the route tag, and it will be self-closing. In this one, just add the path, and in this path, simply add info. And here we will add the element. So in this element, let me add contact info component. Let's close this tag, duplicate it. Here we'll add the another component and another path, that will be form. It will be contact form. Select it. So the contact info and contact form has been imported. Let me remove it. Here we are not importing this contact. Now we have created the nested route. After that, let me come back to the web page, and you can see we are at the /contact path, and here we are getting this contact page message. And now if I add /info, hit enter. So now you can see we are getting the contact information, correct? And instead of this info, if I write form in this path, so we are at the contact/form, press enter. Now we will get this contact form. So based on this route, we are rendering different components. Now let me add the buttons on this contact page. So let me again come back to this contact page where you can see this message. So after that, we'll add two buttons here, so that using this button we can navigate to the nested routes. So let's come back, and here we have this contact.jsx file. Here we have this title in h1. So in this one, let's add one div, and in this div, let's add a class name also. The class name is contact buttons, and here we will add the button tag. In the first button, we will add the text contact info, and here we will add the on click. In this on click, we will add the arrow function, and here we will use the useNavigate. So let's import that. We will add import useNavigate from React Router DOM, and here we will add const navigate is equal to useNavigate hook. Now we will call this navigate function in this arrow function, and here we will provide the path. So let's add the path info. So when we will click on this button, it will go to /contact/info. Let me duplicate it, and here we will add form, and here we will add contact form. After that, let's come back to the web page. You can see these buttons here. Let me align it in the center. So we will use this class name and come back to the index.css file, and here let's add some CSS properties for this div. So in this one, we will add display flex, align item center, justify content center, then we'll add the width, and after that we will add the padding from the bottom. So we'll add padding bottom 20 pixel, and we will add the gap. So we'll get the space between the buttons. So let's add the gap of 20 pixel. Now just come back. Now you can see we have the space between these buttons, and if I click on the first button, which is contact info, then it will display the contact information. correct? And you can see the path, it is /contact/info. And if I click on the contact form, now we are at the contact form. You can see this contact form here with input fields and button. So this was the nested routes in the React routing. Now we will learn how to create a 404 page or page not found using the route that does not exist. A 404 page provides a good user experience because it helps user to find what they are looking for when they reach a page on your website that does not exist. A 404 page can also help you to troubleshoot the problems in the website by providing information about the error that occurred. So to create that, let's come back to the VS Code. And in this components folder, we will create a new component. So let's create a new file with the name notfound.jsx. And in this one, let's add the RAFCE, and here let's add one message. So I'll add the message in S2 tag. So here let's add 404, and we will also add the text page not found. So after adding this message, we have to mount this component. So let's come back to the app.jsx file where we have added all the routes. Here it is. So in this one, after closing of this route, let's add another route. Here we will add route tag, it will be self-closing, and in this one we have to add the path, and in this path we have to add the asterisk symbol or a star, and here we will add the element, and in this element we will provide our component that we have just created. So let's add not found, close this tag. So this not found has been imported here, correct? So now what will happen, whenever we will go to any route that does not exist here, right, then we will get the not found message. So just come back to the web page. Here you can see we are at the home page. Now we are at the products page. Now if I change the path from here, we are at products. So let me type some random text, or let me add user, click enter. You can see we are getting the message 404 page not found because we have not added the user route. Let me add something else. Let's add login, press enter. So when we are on the /login path, we are getting page not found because we have not defined the login route. If I add any random text here in this path, press enter, we will get this same message 404 page not found. So whenever we will open any route that is not defined here in this route, then we will get this message page not found. And here we will add one button also so that the user can go to our home page. So let's come back to the VS Code, and we will come back to the component that is not found. And in this component, after this title, we will add the BR, then we will add one button. And in this button, let's add the text, go to home page. And here we have to add the click functionality. So let's add import, or we can simply write it here. We will add const navigate equal to useNavigate. So this useNavigate has been imported. After that, we will use this navigate function in this button. So just add the on click, add the arrow function, and provide this navigate function, and here we will add the path, that is /. So whenever anyone clicks on this button, the user will be redirected to the home page. Now save the changes and come back to the web page. So now you can see we are at the not found page or 404 page, and here we have the button go to home page. And if I click on this button, you can see we came to home page. Let me add any random route or path like this. Press enter. Again we are at the not found page and click on this button. So we are back to the home page. So this is how you can create a 404 page or not found page using the React router. Next we will learn about React router loader. React router loader is a function that is used to fetch data for a route before it is rendered. When you click a link which redirects you to a route, the loader function runs and gets the data ready for the route before it is rendered. Imagine if we are building any products display page in which products are coming from the API. Usually in this scenario we use the use effect hook in that component. But we can also use the React router loader function which will first load the data from the server and then render the component. So let's understand it by taking an example. So for that, here we will create a new layout in this layout folder. So in this layout folder, let's create a new file called jobs layout.jsx. We will use RAFCE snippet, and in this one let's add the title. So this will be job openings. Then we will add one small message in p tag. So here's the message: list of current job opening in our company. After that we have to add the outlet. So here let's add outlet, select it from React router DOM. So this outlet has been imported. Let's close this tag. Now for this one, let's create a job page. So in this pages folder, we will create a new file called jobs.jsx. Here also we will use RAFCE snippet. And in this one, here we will add one loader function at the end. You can see here we have the export default jobs, that is exporting this function. So after that, here we will create another function. So here let's add const jobs loader equal to, it will be async arrow function because here we will call the API. Use the async keyword and create the arrow function. Next we have to export this function. So here let's add export keyword. So we have created one jobs loader function, right? Now we will create the route. So let's come back and we will come back to the app.jsx file. And here after this closing route tag, here let's add the route tag again. Let's add route. And in this one, we will add the path. It will be jobs. Now we will add the element. So in this element, we will use the layout. So just add jobs layout. You can see the jobs layout has been imported here. Now within this route, let's add another route. It will be self-closing. In this one, we will add the index. And here, let's add the element. And in this element, we will add the page that we have created for the job. So let's add jobs. Select it. So this page will be imported. You can see the jobs has been imported from the pages folder and jobs page. After adding this, let's come back to the web page. And here in this path, let's type jobs, press enter. So you can see the message job openings and this small text. Correct. Now we have to add one menu in this navigation bar. So let me just come back and we will open navbar.jsx file, and here let me duplicate this line. Here we will add the path /jobs, and here we will add the text jobs. Save the changes. Now you can see here we have the jobs menu. If I go to contact, we have the contact page. Now if I go to jobs, we are on the job page. Now here we have to display some job data from the API. So first let's create one API. Let's come back. And here in this assets folder, you can see in this src we have this assets, and in this assets folder we will create a new file. So write the file name data.json. Now in this file we will create some data for the job. So we will add the object, and in this object we will add the first property, that is jobs. Here I am creating our own local API, and if you have any online API then you can use that one also. So here let's add one array, and in this array we will add multiple job information. So let me add the first object where we have the ID, title, salary and location. Similarly, let's add one more job detail. So now we have 2 job data. Similarly, let's add some other job data. So total I have added 5 data in this data.json file. So using this data we will create one API. So after that, let me just close it and right click on this assets folder and select open in integrated terminal. So it will open a new terminal. So in this terminal you can see we are in the assets directory, right? So here let's add npx. We are using npx. Then we will add JSON server, JSON-server. After that we will add _watch. Then we will add file name, that is data.json. So we have created this file data.json where we have added the jobs data. After that we will add _, and here we will use port. Then write any port number. So let me add 5000 and press enter. So now you can see here we have this localhost port 5000/jobs. So let me open this link in the web browser. So here in this web browser you can see we are at the localhost port 5000/jobs, and here we have this API data. Now we will use this API data and we will display the data using the React router loader. So let me come back to the web page, and now let's come to VS Code. Let me minimize this terminal, and here we have created this page called jobs.jsx. So in this one we have to add the API call. So in this jobs loader we will add const, then we will add the response is equal to await. Then we will use the fetch to fetch the data from the API. Here let's add the link. So this is the API link, just copy it and paste it here. So we have provided the API link here. Now we will add return. We will return this response. So just add response.json. That's it. So whenever we will call this jobs loader function, it will return the data from this API. Next we have to provide this data in this component before this component gets loaded. So for that, let's come back to routes. So we have added the routes in app.jsx, and in this routes you can see we are adding this element jobs. So before rendering this jobs component, we have to load the data from the API, so that after loading the data, this jobs component will be displayed on the web page. So here we will use the loader property. So we are using this loader in this route, right? So in this loader, let's add function that we have just created. So just add jobs loader. Here it is, click here. So you can see the jobs loader has been imported. So in this route we have provided jobs loader, so it will load the data first from that function. After loading the data, it will render this jobs component so that whenever people visit this web page, they will see the jobs data. Now let's come back to the job page again. So where it is here, and in this one we will get the data from the loader. So we have to get it using the use loader data hook. So just add const jobs data equal to use loader data. We are getting the suggestion. So you can see use loader data has been imported from React router DOM. So to use the loader data, we have to use this hook, use loader data. Now in this variable we will get the API data, and using this data we will display the information on the web page. So let me just copy it, and within this div let's add the curly braces, and here we will add this jobs data dot map method because it is an array. In this one we'll add the arrow function, and here let's add the individual job, and now let's return. And we will return one link tag, and in this link tag let's add one title that will be the job title. So we will add the title in h3 or let's say h4, and here we will add job dot title. Now let's add one more text in p tag. Here we will add job dot location, like this. After adding this, let's come back to the web page. You can see on this job page we have the job data like title and location. We have all 5 job data that we have provided in this API, correct? So whenever we will reload this web page, first it will provide the data using the loader function, and after getting the data it will render the component on the web page. Right now it is aligned vertically, so let me improve the UI design of this component. So let me just come back, and here in this div let's add a class name called jobs, and we will open our CSS file, that is index.css, correct? And in this one let's use that class name jobs, and for this one we will add some padding, then we will add width 100%, then we will add the display flex, justify content will be a space between, then we will add the gap 20 pixel, and in this jobs we have added the link tag. So that link tag will add one anchor tag. So let's add the A, and here we will add flex 1, then we will add the text decoration none, correct? And after that we will add some padding, then we will change the background. So let me add this background color code, and then we will add the color. Now come back to the web page. You can see this job page is looking good. Now let me go to home page. Now whenever we will click on this jobs link, it will try to open a new route, and whenever this route will be called, then first it will access the loader function, and using that loader function it will load the data, and after loading the data it will render the component. So whenever we will open this page, we will see the data. like this. Now we will learn what is route parameters and how to use it. Route parameters are values that are dynamically added in the page URL. E-commerce websites are a great example of route parameter. It is used to render the same component, and a dynamic portion of the URL is used to change the data based on the parameter. To use the routes parameter, we first need to declare them in a route. So let's understand it with one example. So let me close these files. I'll right click and select close saved. Right. Now we will create a new component where we will display the job details. Right now we have created one page with job list that display all the job openings. Now we will create a new page that will display individual job details. So in this components folder, let's add a new file and write the file name job details.jsx. In this one, let's add RAFCE, and now we will add this component on one route. So let's open app.jsx file. Here we have added these route. So in this one, let's add one more route. So here let's add route tag. In this route, let's add the path, and in this path we will add colon, and here we will add any name like ID, or we can use ABC, we can use XYZ, anything. So let me add the ID. So after adding this path, let's add the element, and in this element we will add the component that we have just created, that is job details. Close this tag. So the job details has been imported. So on this path we have added this job details, and here we have added the path colon ID. So if I add anything in the URL, it will render the same component, that is job details. So to display that, let me come back to the job details, and here let's add one title called job details page. Save the changes and come back to the web page. And here in this URL, if I add /ABC, you can see the message job details page. Now if I add anything else like ID, press enter, still you can see job details page. So what is happening here, after this jobs route, if I add anything, then it will open the same component, that is job details. Now from this URL we can find the parameter, and we can use that parameter in the web page. So what is that parameter? You can see here we have added this ID, so we can fetch this ID from the URL. So in this one, here we will use the use params. So let's add const, then we will add the ID is equal to use params. So this use params hook has been imported. One thing you have to remember, here we are using the ID, that's why in this use params we can get the ID. If we add XYZ here, then here also we have to add the XYZ. Now in this component we have this ID, correct? We can use this ID on the web page. So in this h1 tag, let's add the message ID is this ID variable. Save the changes. Now if I come back to the web page, here we are getting ID because in this URL we have added this ID. If I add XYZ, here we are getting ID is XYZ. If I add 100, you can see ID is 100. So whatever we will add in this URL, that will be added here. So this is how we can find the parameters from the URL. Let me add 50. So here we will get 50. Now what we have to do, we have to display the job data on this page, on this job details page. So let's come back to the API, and in this API you can see here we have the list of jobs, and in this one we have the ID 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So in this URL let's add /5. So it will open the particular job details. You can see ID 5, title, salary and location. If I add 3, press enter, you can see the ID is 3, then another job title, salary and location. If I add 1, it will display the first job data, ID 1, job title, salary and location. So we will use this API to display different job data on this job details page. So this is one of the method to use the parameters. Now let's see another method. So from here, let me remove it. We will remove this use params, and let's remove this one also. And here we will add the loader function. So here at the end we will add export. We have to export the loader function. Then we will add the const, and here let's add the function name, that is job details loader, equal to, it will be async function. So let's add async keyword so that we can use the API call. Now in this one we have to find the ID, then only we will call the API, correct? Because in this API endpoint we have to provide the ID at the end, correct? So to get the ID, here we will use params parameter that is provided in the loader function. So in this loader function we can use params like this, and from this params we can find the parameters. So in the parameter we have added the ID, so we can find the ID from this params. So here let's add const curly braces ID. We will destructure the ID from this params, equal to params. Now we have the ID, so now we can call the API. So let's add const response is equal to await, then fetch. In this fetch we have to provide the API endpoint. So let's copy this endpoint, paste it here. So we have provided localhost port 5000/jobs, and after that we have to provide the ID dynamically. So here we will add plus ID. We will provide this ID. So it will be added at the end of this API endpoint. Now we have to return the response. So just add return response.json. So now we have created the loader function. Now using this loader function, first we will fetch the data from the API. After getting the data from the API, it will render this component. So in the route we have to add this loader function. So in this one you can see we have created this route. So in this route we have to add the loader. Let's add loader, and in this loader let's provide the loader function that we have just created. So here we will add job details loader, select it. So this job details loader has been imported. So in this route you can see we have the path :id, then we have the element, that is job details, then we have the loader function. Now what will happen whenever we will add any ID like 1, 2, 3 in the URL, then it will open the same component, that is job details component. And in this job details component, it will provide different data based on this parameter. And first it will load the data using this loader function, and after that it will render this job details component. That's it. Save the changes. Now we can use this loader here in this component. So to use the loader, here we'll add const job details, let's add any variable name, equal to, then we will use the use loader data hook. We are using this use loader data. So it has been imported. It will be const. Now using this job details, we can display the job details on the web page. So to display that, here in this one, let's add one text in p tag. Here we will add bold text in b tag. So the text will be job title, like this. And here we will display the data from the API. So this will be job details dot title. After that, save the changes and come back to the web page. Here we have added the 50, but ID 50 is not available in our API. So let me add 5 in this URL. If we add /jobs/5, press enter. Now you can see job title UI designer. And in this data, you can see here we have UI designer in this ID 5. Now here in this URL, if I change 2, in this URL we are adding /jobs/2, press enter. Now you can see the title front-end developer. So based on the route parameter, we are displaying the dynamic content. Now just come back and we will display all the job details. So let's duplicate it. Here we will add salary. Then we will add job location. And here let's add description. Here we will update. It will be salary. Then it will be location. And we don't have any description in the API. So here let me add a static description. So I will paste this data. And after that we will add one button also, because it's job description page. So we will add the button for apply now, like this. After that, if I come back, here you can see we have this job title. In this salary it says blank. So let me come back and here we will correct the spelling. This one, save the changes. Now you can see here we have the salary data, then we have job location and description, then apply now button. Correct. Next, we will add some CSS properties so that this page will look beautiful. So let me just come back and here in this div, let me add the class name called job details. Now for this class name, we will add the CSS properties. So we will open index.css file where we have added all the CSS. So here, let's add padding from top and bottom. And in this one, we have added the content in p tag. So for this p, let's add the maximum width of 800. Then we will add some padding. And after that, we have the button also. So let me add the CSS properties for button. So in this button, we will change the background color. It will be black. Then we will change the button color. So the button color will be white. Then we'll remove the border and outline. So border 0, outline 0. Then we'll add some padding. So it will add a space inside the button. 5 pixels from top and bottom and left right 10. Then we'll add margin from the top. Then cursor pointer. Now just come back. Now you can see this job details page looks beautiful. Next we have to add the click feature. So let me come back to this job page and you can see here we have these job card. So if I click on the first one, it should open the job description of the first job. For that we have to add the to property in this list. So just come back and here we have added this jobs.jsx file and here we have added this link tag. Now in this link tag, let's add the to property, and in this to property we have to provide the ID. So we will get the ID using this individual job.id. Correct. We are getting this ID as number, so we have to convert it into a string. So we will use toString method. So we have added this toString method. So we will get the ID in a string format. After that, we have to add the key. So let's add the key, and in this key we will add job.id. That's it. So now what will happen, whenever we will click on this link, so it will open the route with one ID. So just come back. You can see here we have list of jobs. So for the first one, the ID is 1. For the second one, the ID is 2. So let me click on this one, full stack developer. So this is the third job. Let me click here. You can see now we are at the path /jobs/3. And according to this parameters, here we are getting the job description. You can see the job description, full stack developer, salary, location, and a static description, and apply button. Now let me come back and click on the last one, which is UI designer. Let's click here. Now you can see the job description page with UI designer, salary, location, and description. So based on this parameter, we are displaying the content dynamically on the same component. So this is how you can create the route parameter and create the dynamic route. Now we will learn about router error element. In React Router, error element handles unexpected errors. By using error element, we will provide error element for our job details page component. Earlier, we have already created 404 page for the not found route. So let me show you that. If I type something like this in this URL and press enter, so we will get this 404 page, right? Now if I go to jobs page and let's open any job details, and here we have this job ID, right, in this URL. So here we have the ID 2, but if I add any other ID that does not exist in our API, so let's add 50, press enter. So now you can see we are getting some kind of error on this page, and here it is not displaying the 404 page. Why? Because we have already declared the routes called jobs. If I come back to the app.jsx, you can see here we have declared the route, jobs route. That's why here we are not getting 404. Here we are getting some kind of error, correct? So here we have to display our own custom error. For that we will use the router's error element. So let me just come back, and first we'll create a error component. So in this components folder, let's create a new file and let's add the name error page, or let's say error.jsx. So we have created one error.jsx file. Here we will use RAFCE, and here let's add the message. So I'll add the message in S3 tag, and here we will add the message text and error occurred. And after that we have to display the error message that we will get using the route error. So first we have to get the use route error hook. So let's add const error is equal to use route error hook. So it has been imported. Now in this error there will be some message. So here let's add one paragraph tag, and in this one let's add curly braces error.message like this. And after that let me add one button also. So let's add the button, and here we will add the button text go to home page. And to go to home page we have to use the useNavigate. So let's add const navigate is equal to useNavigate hook. Now we will add this in this button. We will add the on click, create an arrow function, and provide this navigate function. And here we will provide the path of our home page, that is slash. So we have provided this. Now we have to mount this error element whenever the error occurs in the route. For that, let's come back here in this app.jsx, and here you can see we have this route where we have added the job details, and in this one we have this loader function that loads the data and then it renders the component. But if any error occurs in the loading data, then we will display the error component. So here in this route tag, let's add error element. We have to provide this error element, and in this one we will just provide the component that we have just created, that is error. So let's provide this error component. Now what will happen if any error occurs on this route, then this error component will be displayed. So let's save the changes. So after adding this, let me just come back to the job details page. Here we have this loader function. So right now we have added this fetch, and after that we are returning the response. But now what we'll do, we will check the response. If the response is okay, it means we are getting the response, and if response is not okay, so in the response we are getting one okay property, and we will check if it is true or false. So let's add if condition, and here we will check response dot okay. If it is true, it means we are getting the correct response. If it is false, it means there is some error with this API endpoint. So here let's add not operator. So we'll get if response dot okay is false. Then in this case we will throw an error. So just add throw error, and here we will add our own error message. So let me add the error message, could not found the job details, like this. So what will happen now, whenever this route will be loaded, that is the dynamic route, here we can provide any ID. So if any error occurs on this dynamic route, then this error component will be loaded using this error element. So let me just come back, open our web page, click here. So now we have this job description page, and here if I change the ID, let's say 20, press enter, here we are getting this error. So let me just come back, and here we have added this error component, but it is not imported, you can see. So let's import it. We'll add error and import it from components folder. So you can see error component has been imported and mounted here in this route, in this error element. So now just come back, and here you can see we are getting the message job openings, and here we have the message an error occurred, could not found job details, and here we have the button go to home page. Correct. Now what we can do, we can move it in the parent route. So let me remove it from here, and we can place it in this route where we have added the path jobs. So in this one, let's add error element and provide this error component. So we have added this error element in this jobs path. Now just come back, and now you can see only the error message, an error occurred, could not found job details, and here we have the button. So let me add the CSS properties. So we have already created the class here, that is job details. So let me copy this and paste it here. In this error component, we will add class name and same class name. Now it is looking good. We can click on this button, so it will take you to the home page. You can see we are back to the home page. If I go to jobs, here we have the job list. If I click on any single job, you can see the job description, and if I provide any incorrect parameter in this URL after this jobs path, so let's add XYZ, and press enter. So we will get this message, and error occurred, could not found job details. So we can display the custom error page whenever error occurs in the route. And here we have added this in the parent routes. So if any error occurs in this route, which is the index, then also we will get the error message in this component. So here you can see we have added this job.jsx file, and here also we are using this jobs loader. So in this one, before sending the response, we will check if response is not okay. Then what will happen? We will throw one error. And here let's add the error message, could not found job list. So what will happen? Whenever we will open this page, and if any error occurs on this route, we could not find the data from the API, then we will see the error message on this page. So this is how we can use the error element in the React router. Now we have completed the React router, and in this video we have learned how to create routing in React application. Then we have learned about link tag, NavLink tag, and useNavigate hook. Then we have created the nested routes and created the 404 page for the not found route. After that, we learned about loader in React router. Then we learned about the router parameter and dynamic routing. And then we have learned about the error element in React router. So we have covered all the important concepts of React router. I hope this video will be helpful for you. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comment section. Please like and share this video, and also subscribe my channel Great Stack to watch more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching this video.